OpenClaw kind of came out and was this huge thing, I initially saw it because of Moltbook, which was their like AI Facebook. For whatever reason, I saw that story everywhere. But that got me looking into OpenClaw and seeing some of the capabilities. Going down the rabbit hole of maybe getting a little MacBook or what do they call it, Mac Mini, to actually run it on. But the security concerns were just too great, and so I didn't go down that path. But that kind of went down the whole Claude Cowork, which was just released in February. But gosh, that I feel like has opened up so many doors for us in terms of ideas and different ways of using AI than we were historically using with Copilot or ChatGPT.
I think what's funny here is I think we're on the exact same journey here. Because I went down the same rabbit holes. I'm just more new to it. The OpenClaw I just got into last night, but I guess for those listening, we have Copilot here at All Canning, but I've also primarily been using ChatGPT, and it's been so hard to move out of that because it knows basically the format of everything I want. It has all of our history and conversations. However, Corey and I like to talk about this all the time. So we've decided to move to Claude. We're now on a team license, and I'm really excited about it, but I've been spending a ton of time understanding the differences between Claude projects, Claude skills, Claude plugins. All that being said, Corey, I went down the exact same path that you did where I got into OpenClaw. And we were discussing this earlier, but I feel like what I'm trying to do right now is find a good example of what people are building with this. And there is a lot of people out there that are so vague in how they're using this. It's like, I need to find a specific video and just, I don't care if it's 3 hours long. Let me just look at your computer screen and watch you build some of these things. So I think, honestly, it's a little difficult right now, even within the skills, Corey, within Claude, setting those all up. I'm like, I thought I'd be able to edit here. I can't. I'm like, how am I editing this? So we're down the same rabbit hole. I think I'm a little farther behind than you are, but regardless, I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, it just seems so much more capable than what we were getting out of OpenAI. And really makes me I was even looking at the valuations. I mean, OpenAI is what, 3x or more what Claude was valued at, but I've just been super impressed and shocked actually at the capabilities that are coming out of it. I actually, for my mother-in-law last night, she was asking about different tax and school donations. And in Arizona, we have a dollar for dollar tax credit for donating to schools. And she was trying to ask about the different nuances, and I couldn't really explain it. And so I said, hey, Claude, can you build an infographic for me that outlines all the different options for the state of Arizona and gives, in boom, 2 pages, great summaries, married filing jointly, single, colored and everything. And I sent it to her. I said, hey, here you go. And her response was, who's Claude? But the output is absolutely incredible,
Yeah. Well, I don't want to bounce around too much, but I did see a story going back to OpenClaw that I think they started off and their name was just Claw, and they got in trouble with Claude because they're like, you guys are, this is too similar. So then they changed it to, I don't know if they went to, I think it was Molt. Is Molt the same company as yeah. And then they went to OpenClaw. So I'm like, I mean, even I was confused with the current name of OpenClaw.
It went through so many different iterations. I know the individual who created it was on Lex Friedman and a few other podcasts recently. And I was hearing that whole journey of the different things of, they got a cease and desist, I guess, from Claude, Anthropic's Claude, and said, hey, it's too close. But they had the whole lobster character. So we went with Molt, like changing its name. I think he thought he was being creative, but yeah, not the best naming convention there. But it will be interesting because OpenAI actually acquired them, and he's now part of the OpenAI team. And I know on their first day, they patched like 40 vulnerabilities in it. So trying to elevate the security risks that were, in the OpenClaw solution or package. It's still published out, but that's going to be an interesting change.
I didn't know OpenAI acquired OpenClaw. So it's being, so I guess OpenClaw now I should be considering is kind of ran by OpenAI, or are they kind of keeping it their own?
I wouldn't go that far yet. I know they patched those 40 security vulnerabilities. I still think there's a ton of inherent risk with based on everything that I read and researched about it. It was still too far to where, unless it was in like a sandboxed VM, it wasn't something I was comfortable playing with. Which all the great functionality and features are giving it access to, you know, you're being able to iMessage or chat with it. There's giving it passwords and credentials and access to your email and all those things. But to me, it's just the risk is too great, right? Giving it those keys to
Yeah.
the kingdom, that's what it can unlock. But you don't want to.
Yeah.
It can also go a little haywire.
Well, let's start. I guess here's a question for you, and I don't know if you know the answer to this, but we've mentioned Claude and OpenClaw. On the Claude side, we have Claude Chat which is what
Yeah.
everyone's familiar with. They then came out with Claude Code, which is basically allows this AI tool to take control of your computer. Then they came out with Cowork, and I feel
Mhm.
like my understanding is chat. Everyone's familiar with what the
Yep.
chat is. Cowork actually execute things on your computer. However, you have to work through a developer terminal,
Yep.
and is very developer heavy,
Yep.
I'd say.
Command
Cowork
line.
came out and it was,
You're in a
yeah.
terminal. Not very user friendly.
And then Cowork is kind of the happy medium where it's supposed to kind of bring the uh, non-developer people into most of the capabilities that you can get with Claude Code.
Yeah, I think
What
that was one of
then?
the downsides was that it's just kind of it's a GUI, it's a user interface for Claude Code. People are like, well, it's nothing special. I'm able to do that in
Mhm.
code, but I think it kind of opened it up to the masses to where now people
Oh,
that aren't using command line can do it.
yeah, absolutely. So with that though, where we now have OpenClaw, what can OpenClaw do that is separate from Claude Code?
So, I mean, think about OpenClaw essentially is AI with the gloves taken off, right? So people are giving it access to, you put it on a Mac Mini and they give it access to their passwords. So it has access to their Gmail, it has access to iMessage or WhatsApp and can message with and communicate with them. It basically has full root access to their Mac device with all of their applications and passwords to different SaaS solutions they're using. And so that you can really, the sky is almost the limit in terms of things you can think of. So people were saying, hey, tonight, research these 3 topics for me. I want to understand the way to do this. Help me build a mobile app or I see a lot of folks that are using it for cross-platform posting of, hey, here's my video recording. I need you to edit it and put it out on TikTok and all these other places. Cross-platform upload. It'll go and do all that and then report back if it runs into issues, or give you an update in the morning to say, hey, I completed all these tasks. Here's the things I ran into issues with. Oh, reminder, I checked your calendar. You got these 3 emails in your Gmail account you got to address. You have these things you have to prep for today. So it's almost this personal assistant, but the risk is with, great power comes great responsibility. They have access to it has access to everything and it can go out and research. And there are stories of it either going a little bit off the rails and sending out emails to your Gmail contacts that you don't want it sending out, or it's using it in iMessage or using it in WhatsApp, and someone being able to then take it and direct it to do things on your PC that you don't want it to be done. And so a lot of
Mhm.
security risks, but it's kind of AI with the gloves taken off, I guess is how I would think about it. If you go ask Claude Cowork or Claude Chat, hey, can you notify me at 7 a.m. My daily calendar and my details? It'll come back and say, unfortunately, I can't notify you. I have no way. I'm only reactive at this point. There's no way for me to proactively reach out, and that's probably the
Yeah.
primary difference with OpenClaw.
Okay. So would you say is the the purpose of these security vulnerabilities more of OpenClaw was released as, hey, listen, this is kind of raw capabilities that we've come up with here. There are some security concerns because this is just such a new technology. I guess the question is, are they attempting to put guardrails in place so that you can govern this thing much better? And we're just kind of learning on how to execute those guardrails, or what's the situation there?
Yeah, so before, I mean, this guy, this developer, he developed some type of PDF app or PDF software before. he developed this primarily using AI to help code it, right? It was out on
Hmm.
GitHub. It was set up to where anybody that uploaded code, it would automatically be accepted. And so the opportunity for someone to upload malicious code up there, it would just be kind of accepted and rolled into the OpenClaw package. And so that method of developing, while it's quick and loose and fast and you can get things done, it is not the most secure. And there's a lot of inherent risk, especially as people begin downloading it and people see opportunity. I know, like I said, that OpenAI with the acquisition immediately patched like 40 vulnerabilities. I'm anxious to see those. Kind of stay tuned, because if they can make it secure, fix some of those things, put more rigor and guardrails around it, and unlock that kind of outreach potential, I think a lot of people want that. I think that
Yeah.
that just opens up so many opportunities where you can have it remind you of things. Or, I'm always wanting Siri on my phone to just say, hey, track a to-do list or track a grocery list for me. And it can't do that very well, right?
Do
So,
something,
sorry.
please. I've had you for 12 years and I've never used you.
I know.
Uh,
Yeah, we were promised
yeah.
this for years, for
Yeah.
decades, but nothing yet.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see how this goes then, because I wonder in the process of OpenAI coming in to patch vulnerabilities as well as put some guardrails in place, that causes the tool to lose functionality. Because now you're back at Claude where it's like, hey, I can't access that because it's unsecure. You're like, well, now you're just kind of in the mix with the rest of the other tools.
Yeah,
So
I
we'll
mean,
see.
they're gonna put some guardrails on it, and with that comes some loss of freedom or potential.
Hmm.
But I think it's necessary. I think that OpenAI, frankly, needs to catch up a little bit with Claude and Anthropic. Like we
Hmm.
talked about at the beginning, I hadn't used Anthropic heavily. I'd gone to the Claude AI and used some of the chat features, but was primarily Copilot, open, ChatGPT, and then a little Gemini for image and video. But
Yeah.
man, Claude has just blown it away. I mean, now we're using it so much. I'm using it personally. My first thing was I wanted to go test it from what I'd seen, but the Cowork capability, it seemed like a safer way of getting some of the OpenClaw capability. And I went out there, downloaded it on my computer, and said, "Hey, I want to build a mobile app." It was just an idea for an iOS app I've had for a long time, and it took a long time, but it built the entire thing in Claude Cowork. It created the icons. It showed me how to go and create the Amazon streaming capability to broadcast the video I wanted to broadcast. It built the entire app soup to nuts. So I wonder, is it the most secure? Is it patched? How do I make further enhancements? Yeah, that's probably going to be a little challenging. But the fact
Hmm.
that it can go do that and kind of make any of these ideas a reality for people, it's just I'm impressed, and looking forward to what the next few years are going to bring, because the rate of change is just exponential.
Yeah, yeah, and your excitement for it is what's gotten me so excited for it. So, what we should do is we should check back in here. I don't know if it would be a month from now or longer than that,
Yeah,
and follow up on what we've actually built. Because if I didn't mention it earlier, we switched to a team license within Claude, so we can share some of the stuff we're building. So we're really excited about it.
yeah.
Um,
Let's find some use cases or actually report back on what we were able to put together.
we should. As an ending note, did you see? Speaking of just Anthropic in general, I saw in the news. Did you see they're beefing with the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, with
No.
their current. Yeah. So from my understanding, is the government. I was reading Pete Hegseth, so I don't know. I assume he's the front man. Don't know who else is involved,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they were angry about the the deals they have with these AI companies like OpenAI, Anthropic,
Mhm.
and XAI, whatever
Yeah.
you call Elon's, is they're a little pissed off about the limitations they have. They don't like the fact that the companies that they're paying these contracts to are governing their capabilities with these AI tools, I guess. But Anthropic is one that's pushing back, and they're like, "Listen, we will not let our models be used to kill anybody without human intervention." Right? And I'm, I'm not gonna sit here and dissect this, but I just wanted to say That was the first one that came across, and I'm like, uh-oh, we're getting to the Terminator here.
Oh yeah. Oh, we're
So
getting to Terminator, or
yeah,
what was the iRobot, right? Where with Will
iRobot, yeah.
Smith, where they had the
Yeah.
certain laws that were
Yeah, the
unbreakable.
three laws or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that way every time I see one of those Boston Dynamics videos of either the
hmm
dog or now the humanoid style robot. I'm like, man, I would not feel comfortable with that in my house, because
hmm
it goes haywire and decides to go after me. There's no
Yeah.
chance, right?
Yeah. It's
So
crazy.
it'll
And to
be
be clear, the government did say they're like, we don't want to use it for that. But Anthropic's basically like, by us giving you, we're creating the possibility for you to do that.
yeah.
So
I
pretty
think
interesting.
yeah, and again, I wasn't a heavy user of Anthropic. I just think that the capability obviously is there, and I think that it seems like the CEO has done a really good job of kind of differentiating themselves, right, from the Super
Yeah.
Bowl ads to just even this that you're just telling me now. It just
hmm
seems like they're really thoughtful in terms of how they're differentiating their brand around being a little bit different for AI. I
Totally.
know
I
when.
mean, it's cool.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. I was going to say it's cool. I feel like a year ago when we were comparing these different models, it's like, well, what kind of questions do you ask it? And a year later, we're at like, well, what are the capabilities I can, it's a much more exciting conversation.
Yeah, yeah. It's yeah, but I think this still, that may be a challenge for the next month's update, but I still think customers are struggling with how to enable their teams. Like how do I use it? I still think there's a lot of folks. I did see a graphic the other day that was AI adoption across the globe, and it was essentially that folks that are daily users of some AI platform is still very, very small compared to the entirety of the world. There were still like
Yeah.
more than 7 billion people that had never once used any of it. And
Yeah,
so I think, you think about that over the next 5 to 10 years, it's going to be a game changer for sure.
it is.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, I guess we'll end it there. I feel like I could talk about this for a while, but,
Yeah. Well, let's do an update, like you
yeah,
said, in a month. We'll do an update and let them know what we've done with Claude Cowork.
we will. We'll plan on giving you guys an update. So thanks for listening.